Hey VC, Tony here. Tony's LPs are us. As you can see from this frame, I'm showing you a vintage George Harrison Living in the Material World LP that I've had for over 50 years. There's the inside. Friar Park, George Harrison and the gang. Probably everyone who played on the record, but we'll go into that later on as I'll do a full video on it. And the inspiration for this video on Living in the Material World is this. A box set just announced, 174.88 or around that, including LPs, CDs, Blu-rays, and a 50-page or 60-page hardback book. So that should be pretty cool. But before I started the video, I wanted to listen to Living in the Material World, which was one of my favorite Harrison LPs. I believe it was 73. So I've had this over 50 years. And I pulled out my copies and they needed a cleaning. So I figured I'd show you the actual cleaning of this classic, of this original. Here's the original inner. It's a brown inner. I believe that was original. It's in the sleeve. And here's the artwork, which is a fold out with some artwork that I'm going to talk about during my next video. And here's the lyric sheet of Living in the Material World with credits on the bottom and George's Hindu. George was very spiritual on this record, and it shows, and it's just a great record, one of my favorite Harrison records. So I'm just going to show you the original label, and you can see this record's pretty dusty, as is the side of this VPI record vacuum cleaner. So what I do is I'll put the cap on, holds the record down. You can see it's very dirty. And never, I would say, I hope you never play a record that has this much stuff on it on your record player or your turntable, as they're called today, because obviously that's going to interfere with the sound, and that's going to clog up your stylus, and eventually you'll hear a very muffled sound, and it's not a good thing. So what I do is I turn on the machine, toggles, and we're going to spray my concoction. And I'll do this twice, and then I will rinse with regular distilled water. I use a pretty bristle brush, which I believe came with the machine. And I get in there pretty good. And for some reason this is beating up. But this record hasn't been cleaned in how long? It may have never been cleaned, because I have 2 or 3 copies of this. But this one looked pretty clean as far as the actual vinyl. No scratches or hairlines. So we turn on the toggle. Let me get this out of here. We're turning on the toggle on Living in the Material World vintage original LP. Do that for a few seconds. I'm going to repeat. This is a concoction that I made with distilled water. It's a French product, and it works pretty well. I think I like it. I'll list it in my description. I always buy the concentrate. I find it's more economical, as I clean a lot of records. I've already cleaned the opposite side. I'll show you what it looks like, and then I will rinse it, but we don't need to rinse it on camera. So there's the label. As you can see, pretty good. And then what I do is I shoot it with the static gun. There's a little water there we'll get off. And There's the other side here. Okay, well, there you have it. So stay tuned. We'll put this up. I'll listen to this record, Living in the Material World, and I already have my notes, and we will get back to you in the next video. But this will go back in. There's a little bit of dust on here. It picks up dust really quickly. That's why anti-static weapon is always good to have laying around. So keep rocking, and thanks a lot. I appreciate all the subs. If you haven't subbed, please do so. Living in the Material World, George Harrison, solo, 1973. Ciao.